Hello and welcome to, the PressConf Topics Recap Webinar live stream brought to you by PressConf and the WP Minute. We forgot to work on a great opening title for this sesh, Raquel, but we're joined by Raquel from PressConf and Emma Young from Hostinger. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are welcomed.
Today's topic is going to be a fun one. We're going to be debating, conversating, chatting about folks that have submitted what is to be their most important topics that maybe we're all not talking about in the WordPress community, whether it's at PressConf, WordCamp, on the Twitter sphere, in your favorite Facebook group if you have one. And we're going to highlight these three entries and then chat about these and see which ones we think are the best out of the bunch, best of three. And that person, the topic that we pick, is going to win a 3-night stay in Cancun? No, a PressConf ticket.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, wait a second, I should have applied for this.
And that person will win a PressConf pass. Speaking of, well, let me get the screen up here. Speaking of PressConf, PressConf.events. If you're out there going, what the heck is PressConf? Well, you missed a great event last year, and it's going to be even better this year, April 8th through the 11th, 2026, in Tempe, Arizona. And it will be 78, 83 degrees, something like that around April. Not too bad. It's a dry heat.
It is.
Do we
need to explain what that means?
It's certainly not Phoenix in August.
Certainly not.
It's not hot. Phoenix in August, hot.
It'll be the best time to be in Phoenix.
And a fantastic venue as always. I always have a fantastic time at PressConf. Get your tickets today. PressConf.events. Did I miss anything on the promo stuff, Raquel?
No.
Anything else you want to add?
That you need to get the tickets soon so you don't miss out. And oh my God, guys, V2 is going to be crazy in a good way.
The Conference for Professionals Driving the WordPress Economy. That's the title. Last year, we laughed, we cried, we had an amazing time. Thanks to Raquel and the folks who volunteered their time to put the event on. And like Raquel said, it's going to be fantastic as a round two. Raquel, let's just do a quick introduction. What have you been up to since running the event last year? What's the name of your company, and where do you? What's your day-to-day like besides getting this event off the ground?
Okay. Also, looks like Chris just said that he's not getting any audio.
He's not getting any audio on his side? Everybody else can hear me, right? We're chatting.
I guess that's it might be a Chris problem. Sorry, Chris. But anyway, okay. Well, you figured that out, I will say. So I am like full-time in this event space. My company is Wonderland Curious. PressConf is my baby, and we are working so much. And it is taking up everything I got, and I love it. And it's so much work. I worked all the way up, I remember, up till like Christmas Eve, and I told Adam weeks, I'm like, I need to take a break because I have not stopped working, because there was this part of me that was so excited to work for myself again, because that's how I got into WordPress. I had an agency way back in the day. And when you work for another company, when you take PTO, it feels like it's their time that you're taking, and not to that's just my own POV. And so because it was my time and all the stress was for me, I was just like, let's just be as stressed out as possible. And I finally was like, oh my God, I got to get away from this computer. So finally, took good 2 solid weeks of just pretty much mostly being away from computers, other than just keeping up with email and things like that. But so that was how my 2025 ended and 2026 began. And I am loving it and stressing out about it, and exactly where I believe I should be today.
You're the one to run PressConf, and we appreciate all the hard work that you put into it. Emma Young, who are you and what do you do?
Such a loaded question. I am me. I am I. The end. I'm just kidding. I
wow.
guess since the last time I saw you guys at PressConf, so I'm running all of organic marketing at Hostinger. So I've got some nice fun with SEO, content localization, YouTube, and I think it's really made me fall back in love with SEO. I got kind of like a little bit stagnant there for a while, and the new evolution of AI search for me has just been so much fun. Like reverse engineering a lot of stuff, like I'm just questioning everything and like just making a bunch of chaos that I don't really need in my life. But it makes work a lot of fun. So I really like the people that I work with as well. And over New Year's as well, I left Lithuania because it was freezing. They had like minus 20 something and like, I don't know, so much snow. And I was like, this is not for me. So I went to an island in Greece. And so my New Year's kicked off with pretty much the same as you, Raquel. I just kind of like 2-3 weeks of just like no laptop, trying not a lot of phone, probably drank too much wine, but it was okay. And it like really set me up for now. So now I'm like really back in the groove of things. And actually I haven't done a podcast in a while. So I'm going to try not to have my normal Emma potty mouth. But if you see me like I have like I don't know, once one comes out, it's just going to be like, oh crap, I have to correct myself with a bunch of other curse words. So you guys all know me. I see the people in the chat. You guys don't care. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm happy.
That's awesome stuff. And I'm sure the world of SEO changing as fast as it is. With AI, everyone's favorite 2-letter acronym is keeping you on your toes, and it's great to have you here. Let's dive into these amazing submissions that folks have sent out. Raquel, when did this email go out? This went out pre-holiday?
Yeah, pre-holidays. We gave people some time to get their submissions in, and something we've never done before. The idea came from our marketing director, and I really liked it because, you know, it creates some fun topic discussion and also a little crowdsourcing, just a slightly bit. And we've never had a contest where we gave away a ticket. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this.
And I say we, the proverbial we, you came up with thought of this idea because you were saying this in the green room before we got started. You're like, well, we're going to make it a little bit more of a competition. It's a little bit more of like putting on, I guess, like competitive. Is that the right phrase? Or you wanted to bolster this up? Like, we're trying to make a serious conference here. We want to have serious conversations. And if there's something you want to talk about, like, the stage is yours, so to speak, right? Like that's your intent behind this.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about it. You know, I think we as a community have over-indexed on the underdog syndrome. And I love a good underdog. I am always root for the underdog. That means I am perpetually not a Patriots fan. Just gonna say that.
Let's not make that this show.
Our boy here. But to that point, to that point, it takes some bravery to sort of go back to like, okay, let's have some good old-fashioned competition. And I'm not trying to like put a spotlight on me or like say I'm so brave, but it's scary. That's why I say that, because I love our community, and it's the most I've ever felt welcomed immediately into a community, and I fell in love with WordPress for that reason. And I very much believe from a social perspective in open source. But at some point, and that's why I say we've talked about this, Matt, is like we want to also grow up and get better together. And I'm very pro like collaboration over competition, but that doesn't mean collaboration, no competition. It just means that we have that collaborative spirit while still practicing healthy competition. And that is really what I want to do here is, you know, we are slightly different than, well, not slightly, we're pretty different from a WordCamp in a lot of ways, but we are very much in the spirit of But one way that we are a little separate is that we have more of that competitive spirit around the topics and around the speakers. So this aligns with that goal.
Sort of has been the essence of PressConf and the WordPress community is you can get in a room, people can be competitors, but you share. I would say 95% of the people share the secret sauce or like the challenge that everyone's having. Even though your products might compete, your business models might be different, right? You might have competing products, but you might go after two totally different customer avatars or industries. So that is one of the great things about the WordPress space. The 3 slides that we have up on the screen represent the topics that folks have submitted. I will read them. We will chat about them. And then I will also read something that's off screen, which is why the topic matters. And this is something that Raquel, this is whomever submitted these topic ideas. They also submitted why the topic matters. This is from them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's start with the first one. Should we read the first one and then debate the first one, or should we read all 3 and then debate all 3? What do you think?
Let's read all 3 and save our comments.
All right, here we go. So the first one, rebuilding communities. I've been in Doc's team long enough to see it being rebuilt 3 times. So Doc's team, WordPress.org volunteer. I believe I have that right. It's a tedious work being back to 3 contributors, trying to find more and doing the work the whole team once did. Why does this topic matter? Because without community, an open source project is just a nice idea. So this person is theoretically contributing their time, writing docs for WordPress, and we want to talk about that. Number 2, AI brain, with air quotes for those of you just listening. What happens when we're over-reliant on AI technologies? I am quasi-guilty of this, of getting lazy sometimes with some of my work. Why does this topic matter? I think it's pretty obvious, but here's what they said. They said, we're all aware of how large language models are changing our industry. Matt Mullenweg has called upon the community to learn AI deeply, as he once inspired us to learn JavaScript deeply. But as much as I too use AI in my daily routine, I am also increasingly aware of a pattern I think of as AI brain. When individuals cannot possibly imagine performing specific tasks or brainstorming ideas without the aid of AI, everyone in the industry seems to be 100% gung-ho about AI in all the things, but what are the human costs of over-reliance on AI? And that's topic number 2. Number 3, I don't know if this topic is being spoken about or not, and I'm in Australia. Different market pressures, perhaps? My topic is related to Substack restricting access to their platform and requiring verification after the commencement of the ban for under 16 teens of popular social media platforms. Even for adults, is the WordPress community discussing options to provide alternatives to these types of hosted platforms where you're at the mercy of their rules, especially when they are beyond what's required? This person also goes into saying the reason why they've submitted this topic is Australia is walking down a shaky path of restricting free speech. People who aren't tech savvy are using these easy hosted platforms to build a following, yet when the rules change, they seem to have no recourse for arguing for individual circumstances. What does the WordPress community think of these types of restrictions made by hosted platforms? Okay, so those are the 3 major topics that we pulled out of the hat. Again, whomever we decide on is the best, using Raquel's words. They win a free pass to PressConf.
Yeah, and I will say these are the top 3.
Right, top 3.
So as it is, the best of so far. So congratulations thus far.
Yes, congratulations to 3 anonymous folks who have submitted these topics. Let's start with I guess slide number 1, go back to the top, rebuilding communities. I've been in the docs team long enough to see it being rebuilt 3 times. It's tedious work. I only know, I'm going to try to loosely define this. I follow WordPress pretty closely. Folks on the docs team, volunteers from around the world, spending their precious volunteer time writing docs for WordPress. It could be how to make a post. It could be how to install a plugin. It could be how to write a functions PHP file, perhaps. These are folks doing the heavy lifting of documenting WordPress. Quite important to WordPress, in fact. What do we think? Who wants to take this one first?
Go ahead, Emma.
Well, I used to contribute to Doc's team, so I feel like I'm part of the problem here. So sorry to the person who submitted this, because I used to actually be quite active in it. And like I would say, like I rallied for a lot of people to also join it. And then, yeah, I also kind of just faded out. So, but like it's interesting to see that like this has happened 3 times, rebuilding it 3 times, like is it more of a we need more volunteers talk, or is it the structure itself is broken kind of talk? And so I'm interested to kind of hear what kind of version of this talk that's going to be actually like more provocative, and where does it go beyond just like burnout and bad recognition is good. So I don't know. I think I'm still processing, because I was like, oh dang, when I read that, I was like, I feel you. So yeah, I don't know. It also stands out to me a lot that it's the 3rd time that this has happened. So what happened the first couple of times, and what will happen different now, or is the landscape different?
Yeah. I'm curious, because again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about like the structure or the organization of the docs team. I don't know what they go through. I don't know how it's managed or the tasks are done or delegated. But from a real simple 50,000 foot view, I can see that it's challenging, or could be challenging. Here's a way to phrase it. If you're contributing code to WordPress and you're building a feature, like you built a slider block, and people get to play with that slider block and they go, good job, you made a slider block, it's awesome. Or I hate that slider block, it should not be in WordPress. And you get this immediate visceral feedback from people. Whereas maybe on docs, you don't get that kind of reaction from people. And it becomes one of these jobs where maybe people are not like giving you the feedback other than you're missing the doc. When are you going to get it on the site? Is that a fair way of why this job might become stressful and gets rebuilt 3 times and maybe doesn't see the love that it should?
Possibly. And I also feel like, at least from what I can remember, was it wasn't the smoothest line from like when devs or whoever was working on the actual code and doing that documentation, that transition into the docs team. So like there was something broken there. So that they couldn't even be fast enough to have the opportunity to get that kind of like showcase of, this is ready to use. But to kind of play a little bit of a devil's advocate here, I'm thinking about second question. Actually, this first question, let me rewind a bit, was more about like community and about like bringing back, like rebuilding that community part. And I think I'm leading more to like workflows and processes, and I'm thinking the AI brain guy or girl from the second person that was saying like, oh, so we can automate part of it, I don't know, and then we can make a bunch of new space for more of the community teams. But now I'm spiraling. I need help.
Raquel, any thoughts on this first topic?
Yeah, I think that one, this is definitely something that's encompassing not only PressConf, but WordCamps in WordPress in contribution. And that's super important, as somebody who has been a long time community contributor, like with blood, sweat, and tears. That's how open source runs. So I think that this person is probably super, super obviously passionate about this. And that's what WordPress has a lot of, right? Passionate people. So it's pretty important. And I think oftentimes it's what we all look over. We don't focus on who's contributing. We just focus on the WordPress, the product being exactly what we want it to be. But we wouldn't be here without this community. And that's coming from somebody who that is the reason I even started this business, was because of my involvement with contributing to the community. Mm-hmm. So I feel that with this one is the importance of it. But I think the whole rebuilding communities, period, right? That's essentially what this is rebuilding communities. And that is something we're at a really hard time at right now as a whole with WordPress and how that affects its future. And it's funny because this kind of, like you just said, it really does. How it's hard not to talk about this without not talking about the next submission topic.
Sure.
But that I could see the importance of this because we wouldn't be here without the community that surrounds WordPress.
Yeah.
So at this point, I would say it's really up there in importance to address it. But now from a PressConf POV, I'm like, how do we address it there? That's where I'm at so far.
Maybe just from both of your guys' perspectives, like in contributions in general, like how is the layout right now? Like, are there still constant contributors? Is there still a strong community? Like we did all of this stuff after COVID to try to bring back some incline in it, but is it growing, or is this actually a pressing matter that like open source community is declining?
I don't know hard numbers, and I feel like people would maybe disagree, but it does appear to be declining for the past year and a half. From a community perspective, there is a lot less, right? And I mean, and that just kind of goes with the numbers. There's a lot less word camps and there's a lot less meetups. So that version itself, are you looking at?
I am looking. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm looking it up. Forgot it was on the screen. Yeah, so I'm just looking at just the thank you post page of WordPress 6.9. Thank you, contributors. I thought there was a count here, total count. I think it's like, I thought the number was 700, but maybe there's not 700 names here. There could be 700 names here. Oh, 300, 279, 900 plus contributors in countries all over the world. This release also welcomed 279 first-time contributors. This is the thank you list for WordPress 6.9. So I think, again, just from a data perspective, like I think on at least the release stuff and what the core of WordPress is, like sounds like it's going up, but I believe this contributes. This covers all teams, so I don't know how many of them are in the docs team, but it seems like it's going up. But maybe the docs team is not, and it's getting harder, which could be a thing.
That would be a great number to know what the number is specifically for each team. Yeah.
My 2 cents is, yes, I think obviously the contribution stuff is extremely important. I think docs are extremely important and can lead to one of those things where people could get burned out because of lack of system and lack of process. And then the communication of it all, of like, how do I know a new feature was in there? Who's telling me and who's helping me understand this stuff so I can write the documentation for it? So I can see all of this stuff being challenging. If I'm going to say that's what the WordPress hat on, the PressConf hat is, the talk would have to be more about like the contributors of WordPress for me anyway. If I'm sitting in a room of executives at PressConf who are making decisions at big hosting companies or big companies that leverage WordPress, like they do show up at PressConf, docs specifically might not be top of their mind, but contributions in general and how that works for WordPress would be top of their mind. So yeah, it's a win for the WordPress side on my WordPress hat. It's a miss with my PressConf hat.
And I can take your words and make them like even like some other word that I was thinking about. The next words will be better, but like so like there's the docs and the community side, and it's like, does WordPress die if documentation's team dies, or does WordPress die if community dies?
Right.
That's a good point.
Is a good point. Let's go to slide number 2. Speaking of getting the right words out in AI brain, what happens when we're over-reliant on technologies? Something that, I mean, look, if you put AI in front of on any slide, you're likely to get investment money right now. So I'm sure people are going to want to talk AI even more than we did last April. at PressConf 2026.
Hmm.
So certainly from a business economy topical level, AI is certainly the challenge these days. This one is specifically about the human side of it, which is interesting. At least this is just my 2 cents on how we adjust as humans. And I think the biggest divide, again, just speaking for myself, the biggest divide that I witness is true skilled web developers, coders, engineers who now get people like me who show up into the room and go, look what I built. And they're going, wait a minute, you don't even know what you're doing. And then I'm saying, but AI did it and it's getting it 90% right. There's a human evolution stuff happening here. And I think for me, it is a great topic to dissect how the human is impacted through this. Those are my thoughts on this slide. I'll give it to whomever wants to chat about this next.
So I mean, I love this topic. Yeah. But I feel like we can spiral in so many ways, like AI brain is like, are we talking about like a real problem, or is it a generational anxiety? Like, is this any really different from the kids? Like kids these days, they use calculators, or we used to remember phone numbers and now we don't. Obviously, it's much bigger. Like I also show up to things and I'm like, I vibe coded this. And they're like, really fix this bug. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
But I'll get back to you. So
yeah.
But like this person who uses AI themselves, like I'm wondering, like, what's the line that we're drawing here? Like when does this useful tool become like this cognitive crutch? And I can see it. Like my husband's a teacher, and seeing how he's having to adapt how they teach students and how the students are turning in things. And like, you're kind of having to go back to this, like, okay, well now let's do a rebuttal about like, and let's debate about the paper that you wrote. And so it's more than just, I would say, this community, but just like this AI brain is learning the right way and wrong way to use it.
Yeah, there's so much. I think about the generations, right? Especially, I guess, like elder millennial. Let's start with mine. We know what it's like to have to learn and do it all ourselves, right? And that's not just elder millennial, that's like any millennial, and including older Gen Zs. But I feel it. I'm like, I bought myself more time. And now that I have more time, I can just cognizant crutch rely on AI, because AI is going to take care of some time consuming tasks for me. But when we look at the history of everything, including the calculator, it did change. And every single time, I think that's exactly what it did to us, is it bought more time. But the problem I see, and the scary thing I see with AI brain today, is that the exponential growth compared to using a calculator over abacus, using a washing machine over a hand scrubber. AI and what it's going to do for us is going to it's going to be lightning speed. It already is. And I think that's the difference. And I can't help but feel a little scared, So on one hand, it is pretty actually big topic of this year with PressConf, because it very much affects agencies big time. And if we as agencies are not implementing AI, we are, to say you're going to get left in the dust doesn't even do it justice. Like there's going to be this poof of smoke and this dust's going to settle, and you're going to be like, where did everybody go? And so we need it. But then back to the problem with it is, how fast do you go? Like, and do you go so fast that you turn around and you're like, I can't stop this, and now you crash? I don't know. And so there's it's such a broad topic.
Yeah, I mean, it only took what, like 15 years for, like, I feel like we all probably started driving around the same age, the three of us on this panel. And
I think Emma might be younger than we think she is.
So but I feel like, I mean, I can remember going places when I first was able to, drive on my own. I had to map quest everything, print it all out, make sure I knew where the hell I was going. And then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. There's this thing called a TomTom, right? Like, let me get that thing and stick it to my window, right? And like, look at this, plug it into my cigarette lighter. And like, look, now I know where I can go, and it's just telling me. To like, now you don't even think about it. I remember being on the highway, calling my parents. I was going somewhere, and I like up north in New Hampshire area, I missed an exit, and I was like, I don't know where the hell I'm going now. No idea. Right. So I'm calling my dad, like trying to figure out like where I should turn around. You don't even think about that anymore. You don't even think about getting lost. And with AI, like, again, this topic, specifically the topic of AI brain and how it affects us, is definitely interesting to me. And how we evolve as thinkers, in our day jobs and in life, I guess. So this topic is very, very interesting to me.
Well, and then I will just say too, with what the submitter said, why it matters, bringing it back to WordPress, is I even feel like they specifically said Matt has called upon the community to learn AI deeply, as once inspired us by learn JavaScript deeply. And so from a WordPress POV, I think it goes back to that example I gave of going so fast that you've lost control. And that, I think, could be something to look at, and something that concerns me is from a leadership perspective and from a top product perspective, how fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but also to go down the existential stakes crisis mode that I like to do, like worst case scenario. So we have like this entire generation of devs who learn to code with AI from day one, not the way that we all did with like CS5 and HTML back in uni, and they never actually developed the ability to, I don't know, problem solve without it. What actually breaks? Like, are we talking about code quality, I don't know, degrading because people can't verify something that the AI gave them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this just different skills and not like worse skills? So the way I'm kind of seeing is both sides, like if a developer can orchestrate AI to build something functional, does it matter if they couldn't build it from scratch themselves? I think this is the kind of like cycle you can just keep going down, but
I think that what breaks is us. As a human.
Yeah.
I think that, because even if we miss something, like Emma, you said like they found a bug and you're like, I can't fix it. Somebody can, or somebody could even use AI to fix it quickly. But I think, is where the breaks down.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, I've seen this a lot in like hiring younger people that are so used to using AI or some type of aid, like not lugging around heavy textbooks or like doing long division or something like that. The logic and how they like work systematically things in their brains are very different from somebody of slightly like in a different generation that is like adapting to using this. So I do kind of see a little bit of that skills shift already happening. It's just different.
Yeah. Slide number 3, also kind of related to this of this AI topic, and how I know in Australia the age is banned under 16 and under, like you can't go on, I don't know if it's all social media. Is it all? I don't know if anybody knows.
I think it is.
Yeah, so all social media sites under the age of 18, which also counts like YouTube, as far as I know. So just as I closely watch the podcasting space a lot, and I know like Spotify is like blowing up in Australia because of folks leaving, like can't do the YouTube music anymore. So I know a lot of people are jumping to Spotify, stuff like that. But this is an interesting topic on the WordPress side. I see this as extremely important for WordPress, and you might even start to think, Emma, being at a hosting company, like when does this stuff start to actually impact hosting companies too, when these laws are pushed onto the providers? I remember years ago, again, dating myself when everyone's like, I'm gonna cut the cord. I'm gonna cut the cord from cable, and I'll never pay for cable TV again. And I'm like, you guys realize you get your internet from that same cord. You're getting internet in that thing called Netflix from the same cord. And fast forward 10, 15 years later, and what happened to all these streaming services?
Right.
The prices are all insane. And when you add them all up, you're paying more now than you were for cable. And the point is like, it all goes back to the provider. And sure, they can cut off social media because they're, bigger profitable organizations that they can regulate to, I guess, to a degree. But hosting providers and WordPress is access it from anywhere, access a browser. So when does the government step over, like the social media sites and say, no, you can't even access a website without a verification? And who the hell is going to enforce that? It would have to be the hosting providers, I guess. I'm not advocating for this. I'm just saying, like, what could be the next step? And that would certainly impact WordPress, or WordPress is the beneficiary of all of this stuff and skyrockets in adoption and usability, because now the thing you wanted on Substack, you can't get it, but now you can trade Pokemon cards on a WordPress website. Whatever, I don't know what kids do. This is a very interesting topic to me.
Yeah.
On how WordPress survives or thrives, and people realize, like, oh, social media sites are probably a bad thing.
I think, yeah. There's so
and
much.
I really like this topic.
Yeah, this one's a big one. And there's a lot of angles, and I feel like I'm like part of all of those. One being WordPress and the whole idea of a free and open web, and from a PressConf POV, that's actually teaser. This is going to be a big part of some of our talks this year, is the future of a free and open web and how hosting is a big part of that. That's the teaser I'll say so far. And this is very much a big topic right now in that world, in the industry. But as somebody who does care deeply about free speech, I'm also a mom, and my kids are now young adults, and they're like 23, 21, and 19. And I see the effects of what social media has damaged in them, and so I can't help but kind of feel like I get it, Australia. But then this is the person who lives in Australia, and it seems like it's not. There's a lot of people who aren't happy. So on one hand, I'm like, from a parental POV, I'm like, my Gen Z kids think that nothing exists outside of perfection. The lie that we see on social media, the absolute lie. And Emma, I don't know what you see on your, like, for you, I doubt Matt sees this, but you just get the nonstop, like the get ready with me, and just like all the things and everybody and the filters, and it just looks so like not real, and so this one's super, super hard, because it's like, and it's come up before with hosting too. It's like, hosting companies, sometimes the sites that they're hosting are awful, like just like how the things that people put on the internet. But from the hosting's perspective, I can't help but feel like that's not their problem. There's something else. And so the host just does what it does. It provides a space, and it's a slippery slope if a host were to come and be like, okay, no, we're not going to support this insert blank awfulness. Then where do you draw the line? And if you just hear right now from where I'm coming from, it's like, oh yes, this entire topic is difficult. It is not easy, and is obviously super, super important right now. And I feel like things are happening so fast that we don't even know where to take a stand. Even it's like, okay, hold on, what I don't know what to do. What else? What do you got, Emma?
I mean, I agree with you guys. Like, the pattern that we keep seeing over and over is, platform starts, we build this user base on it, and then they change the rules, and then users feel trapped without switching is hard, but they feel like they've lost something that they have that they've had. But then on the other side, it's like I agree with you from the hosting perspective. And we like, I would say, like from hosting our side, we've put our foot down for a few things, like especially coming from Lithuania. And there's backlash that comes with it. And we didn't put our foot down across like multitude of things, but like there are a lot of things that were like, oh man, you know, what are the rules with this? Like all the other hosting providers are like, we all kind of play by the same playbook. This one's okay. And like it depends kind of on countries' laws and stuff like that. But I feel like it's such a, I don't know, you can have there's so much complexity in this topic. Like you can go on so many different paths from just the starting of this. I know it was just about like Substack, but then like talking about freedom of speech and what's happening like in the world. Like this is, it's I don't know, but I feel like I'm also filtering myself on what I should say on this live podcast. So I'm like, this because because this is the world that we live in, you know, and there are actual barriers that are besides like what we do for our lives, but what happens afterwards. And so like when I actually read this, I thought about like, you know, we should democratize publishing, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, that assumes that the barriers are just cost and gatekeepers on whether or not you should use a platform or not. But then I actually think of like other barriers that are out there and like, can we actually democratize publishing with WordPress for everything? Like besides gatekeeping, but by like technical knowledge, time, like thinking from like not Raquel's perspective, but from like all of the other things that happen after that, like discovery, monetization, all of that. This is like, it was just the like ripping that tiny little tear off of a topic that I think like you could have a whole press conference on just this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Where do you think because that's where I was going to go with this. Like if I was just evaluating this from does this fit WordPress and PressConf at the same time? I thought about how there's this constant debate of what is WordPress, and you have tons and tons of people who just build WordPress websites as an agency, as a freelancer. They just want to make money with WordPress. Like this is all WordPress is a tool to get a job done and for them to run a profitable business. Nothing wrong with that. That's how I started in WordPress until, you know, being in this space for many years, and you realize like the tool was built to democratize publishing. It was never built to be a web professional's tool to make websites. We all just happen to do that because it's open source and we built a community around it. That's just my opinion. So where do you think the challenge is of that democratized publishing? Do you think once you say it, okay, if you gave somebody WordPress, they could do it, but the barriers are like the technical overhead or the desire to do it with WordPress? For instance, like Raquel's kids, if she said, nobody can use Instagram, you have to use your own WordPress website, the kids would probably freak out, right? Because number one, they'd be like, Ma, I want to use Instagram. And second, I don't know how the hell to use this WordPress site to share photos. Like who's going to go to it? So are those the types of barriers that you think is the challenge when we just say it democratizes publishing for everybody?
Yeah, that's the multifaceted part of this is, you know, WordPress does democratize publishing essentially, but there's multiple factors to that. Like you were talking about, Emma, like, you know, a hosting company, what is it you're trying to publish, and your age. And there are things in this world that we've all agreed to, age related, like drinking per country, you know, and driving per country. And so in a way, age can be a form of gatekeeping. So I don't, again, where's the slippery slope? You know, like, is that a bad thing to age gate? As someone who's been in the trenches with teenagers, I inherently don't see a problem with that, because Matt, to your point, if you age gate social media, and then now I say, well, we got this democratized version of publishing, I'll just build you a WordPress site. To your point, my kid's gonna be like, the fuck? Like no one's gonna go.
Because I'm actually thinking about doing this for my oldest as he starts to talk to his friends. And I'm going to be like, no, man, you're going to use this WordPress site so I can log in and delete anything whenever I see you put something up there that I don't like.
which you can do those sort of things now, like Instagram
can you?
at all
All right.
have like put in parental like abilities now, things like that. But it's an issue of like I sign up for Instagram and I can immediately have thousands of views on my post as opposed to building a WordPress site and you're like, where do you share it? On Instagram? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
to go to like how do you immediately get thousands of views? You know, and
Oh, who says you
anyway,
need thousands of views?
and exactly. And now this is this is how this topic will continue to spiral to create a tributary off of it because somewhere even I've succumbed to this. Matt, we all know you do. we want viewers. You know, we want eyes to see our product, our content. Why else are we doing this? You know, like, yes, maybe there's a few people out there who just do it for themselves. Who are they? I would like to meet them.
But even the way that this conversation's going, it's like I see so many parallels and like so many threads going through all three of these topics. Like we can relate this all back to community. Yeah. And then being and then community getting with AI and AI brain rotting our brain and this going into like taking away our free speech and this going it's just, yeah.
Well, and then that's how it happens, right? A slow boil.
Mm-hmm.
A slow boil. All right, let me go through the slides one more time. I'm going to get these three topics. I think I have figured out my pick, and as we get closer to the hour here, we'll kind of try to decide on who the winner will be. Topic number one, which I called air quotes docs in the comments. Topic one on docs. Important topic for WordPress. I think it misses, like if I'm just looking at these as saying we want to, these people want to present these topics at PressConf. I go topic one, very important to WordPress. Maybe it has to be a different angle to be a PressConf conversation. So I go with topic one as a miss for me. The AI brain is the one that I would go with because I think it impacts most folks walking into PressConf and most stakeholders and decision makers in the crowd on like what they can do for themselves and for their employees. So I think this one hits how are we thinking as WordPress users and how is AI affecting that, and how are we thinking about business operators in the WordPress economy and how AI impacts that. And then the third one, very close to me for being the winner. I go where it's just too broad of a topic. Again, looking at it just as the topic for PressConf, I think it would have to be a little bit more dialed in on maybe the solution that WordPress could provide. If this person submitted this topic with a solution on maybe what they would do with WordPress, I'd be really interested to hear this talk from this person. But it leaves it too broad because then we start talking about so many other things that WordPress competes against. So my pick is the AI brain.
Maybe I will go next, so Raquel, you can decide the final one. But more or less, mine's very similar to Matt. Like I was gravitating towards for PressConf the number two, the AI brain. I think right now it's past the AI boom, but it directly challenges, like WordPress leadership, our strategic direction, like everything that's kind of in our ecosystem. And it's universal, every single person at PressConf or any conference is grappling with this right now. I also think it's very forward thinking, thinking about the future of our development, not just like what's been happening. So this is the conversation. Also, I'm a little biased, but like I would like to have right now, while we're still semi in the early AI adoption phase, like a couple of years from now, I don't know, the dependencies will be set, and I will hope that this window that we have right now will have some healthy patterns. So I also I went back and forth between number 2 and number 3. Like when we started this, I was like, I'm for sure going to pick this one. And then we started talking and I switched to number 3 and then I went back to number 2. But I think number 3 is more risky because of like platform sovereignty. Like free speech is a political landmine. I like to have those conversations because I respect people's opinions and I will like, but I think it could immediately polarize the room. There's going to be a lot of countries. There's going to be a lot of different cultures. I personally would like to be in the middle of all of that, but I think it exposes things in a very uncomfortable way. But it could also develop more ideology versus like actionable insights. So if this person does still attend, please find me. I would love to have this conversation with you. But I think it's really strategically important. But I also like ended up leaning to number 2, the AI brain.
Okay, that's 2 for AI brain. Raquel.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in full disclosure for everybody, this is it's completely anonymous for Matt and Emma. They do not know at all who the submitters are. I have access to it, but I have done my best to like not like pay attention really fully to who the submitters are. But that being said, I do know, and I pride myself in being able to make a decision without being biased, which is super hard. But I love it. And in the spirit of PressConf, that is something that we want to start to implement is good old fashioned competition. So going based on what is best for PressConf and even like what's most important in WordPress. So that disclaimer, which, also shout out, I totally remember PressGram, Chris. Big time remember PressGram and whatever happened to it. Okay. So from a person who's been heavily involved in the contribution community to WordPress since 2015, 2014 probably, my heartstrings are being pulled with the first submission. But that's what I got for that is my heartstrings, but not for this contest. But I empathize, and let's also have a conversation if you still come to PressConf. So going on, let's just talk about the last and the second together. Maybe we should have, I thought we were pretty diverse, but I don't know. I think we're all kind of landing on the same. I did the exact same thing. I was like, well, AI is the obvious choice because it is so relevant to WordPress and PressConf right now. But then as we were, talking about the third, I'm like, oh my gosh, this one is big time. And to your point, Emma, the whole riskiness of it, that is what we love at PressConf that's the reason why our talks aren't recorded is because we want to get a little risky. We want to get a little spicy. We want to get a little feather ruffly for the purpose of betterment. Not
Then I changed my mind.
Well,
I'll go 3-2. Tiebreaker. Tiebreaker.
Okay. Well,
I forgot that they're not recorded.
Yeah. So the talks are not recorded. And that is, when I say get spicy, get a little feather ruffly, it is not because I'm a troll at all. And I think people who know me and know PressConf knows that is the absolute truth. And so the reason why we want things to get a little uncomfortable is because we want things to get better. That is why. And that is my why in life. And so for that reason, that is why like the third one was like, oh my gosh, but that's so PressConfy. And that I just made that up, made it an adjective. Now I feel like I'm stuck. And then you just threw a curveball, Emma, by changing your response. Okay, Matt, help me out here.
Yeah, I mean, my only point on slide 3 is, well, let me ask you this question: the folks that win, are they also presenting these topics? Is that the idea?
No, that was not the idea. But I mean, okay. Who knows? At this point, I feel like I'm already thinking like I want to get all 3 of these people here. So the person who wins is getting the free ticket. But I'm going to talk with the team about the runners up and see what we can do. But
yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm still, if this person came to me with how WordPress could do it, like compete. I'm just loosely saying this stuff, like compete with a Substack. Like if they were giving me an alternative of how they see the path forward with WordPress, I'm clearly picking number 3 compared to this AI thing. Because they did not provide that in this pitch. It's too vague where I do get much more of a concrete topic and idea in slide 2. So I'm still firmly planted on AI brain.
That's a very good point. Like I voted this in my brain with the intention that somebody's going to come and tell me more about it, and we can have this nice like. So that's very valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When I think about the
so hold on, just build the suspense. I'm on slide 2, and Emma, you switch to slide 3. So we have
I
a
think
tie?
for spiciness, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're at a tie.
I can't.
When it comes to this 2026 and what we're really seeing, the topics and the theme of 2026 in the risk taking, the feather ruffling, I'm gonna go with number 3.
All right,
I knew it.
Number 3.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, that is a decision right now. I did not even remotely come with the decision ahead of time. You're cracking up.
All right, hold on. We gotta do this.
Oh my gosh!
Yay, number 3. Number 3.
Why do I feel so like I can't believe I just did that right now? You know why? Because as much as I want this, it still is hard. It still is hard to. I still got that WordPressiness in me. Everybody's a winner.
But I think you said it yourself. You have to get uncomfortable to be comfortable. Yep. I think that's what this one does. And so get uncomfortable, girl. Well, we're all getting uncomfortable with this.
Yay. I love it. Why? How else would it be real if I'm not feeling it as well? So much, I'm just being very honest. I'm all like, but yes, thank you for validating it.
And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other people talking about AI on stage. So I'll get
and that's exactly where helped with my final decision right now. I was like, it's already going to be a big part of it, but we want to ruffle some feathers in a good way.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So if that person is in the audience, congratulations.
Oh, do we want to reveal or? I will say the winner right now. Actually, I need to go look. I need to double check. I need to pull up my not the Helena Denley.
Oh,
Helena Denley.
Good. Congratulations, Helena. Congratulations,
Helena.
We'll see you April 8th through the 11th in Tempe, Arizona.
Runners up. They're both in this chat right now. So I'm going to reach out and figure out a runner-up prize that it's just came to me right now. And we'll figure that out. But I don't know if you guys want me to say who they are. I should have said that ahead of time. So now I feel like I'm just not going to say because I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable for this moment. but I will contact you.
It's fantastic. PressConf.events, April 8th through the 11th. Check out the website now, PressConf.events. I'll throw that in the chat from wherever you're watching this, either live or after the fact. We'd love to have you there. Raquel, Emma, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for doing this event.
Thanks for getting uncomfortable with me, guys.
Yes, I agree. It was fun.
Raquel, PressConf.events, Emma, Hostinger.com. Me, you can find me at the WP Minute and my day job at Rocket Genius. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.